Hi, everyone. Recently, we took a trip to northern Spain and spent some time visiting Hondarribia, which is up in the Basque region of the country, right by San Sebastian. And it's a really nice area. We really enjoyed ourselves, and I'd like to tell you about the city and the surrounding area. We visited a number of little places around there. And it's very nice, right on the Atlantic coast. If you're into surfing or fishing, it's got those things to offer. And it's right in the foot of the Pyrenees Mountains, and you can go there and do hiking and some sightseeing. It's also a nice benefit of this area. And probably the most compelling reason to go to this area is the food scene. It's globally recognized as having some of the best food that you can find. Really a nice place to visit. If you take a look over here now on the map, you can see France up to the north and Spain down south here. If I zoom in to this border area here on the Atlantic, you can see the Hondarribia right in the middle here of San Sebastian and of Saint Jean de Luz. That's where we stayed, and then we visited these other cities. And I'm gonna show you each of these cities, show you some video footage, and tell you what to expect from the areas. Hondarribia it's a smaller city. It has less than 20,000 people living there, and it's such a nice location. It's right on the river that runs between Spain and France, and the mouth of the river where it flows into the Atlantic is right out in front of Hondarribia. It's got a lot to offer. We stayed right in the Fisherman's Quarter, which is the area right in the center of the city. And, all of the buildings have these very colorful shutters. It's really just a nice place to visit, walk around, take some pictures, and just hang out. So what we would do is we would go explore during the day various areas around the region, and then we'd come back and spend our evenings there, going to the restaurants or bars and things like that, which was really fun. If you look here, you can see this is the riverfront right here, and the river flows right into the Atlantic here. And about 20 minutes from here, about a 20-minute walk, there's a really nice beach right on the Atlantic that you can go to. So if you're there in the summertime, there is a really nice beach right there on the Atlantic to explore. And also another place to go to explore when you're here is the Old Town. So the Old Town is surrounded by a medieval fortified wall. It's a very neat area. You can see there's a nice church up there. The really neat old buildings to look at. It has a great feel to it, and it's probably another 20-minute walk. So if you stay in the Fisherman's Quarter, it's probably a 20-minute walk up to that area as well. There's some nice restaurants and places to visit there as well. One of the highlights from up there, I think, was this. It's the old castle that's been converted into a hotel called a parador. So the paradors are luxury hotels owned by the government. They're usually in an old palace or a castle, and you have to book them right through the Parador website. But you can find them all over Spain. There aren't a lot of them. They're not as plentiful as normal hotels. So a lot of times there's a wait to book. But if you can get in on one of those, that would be really fun. We've always wanted to do it. We just haven't had the opportunity yet. You really have to plan ahead, typically, in order to get the nicer ones booked. If you stay in the Fisherman's Quarter, there's parking available on the street right up the hill. And getting up to the top of the hill is kind of interesting. They have these couple of outdoor escalators that takes you right up to the top of the hill, and then from up there, it's a nice overlook over the city, and then you can see the Atlantic and the river. But yeah, when we were there was you could find parking up there, and then there's a grocery store and things like that up there as well. But yeah, all in all, we really liked this city. So a must-see destination in this region is San Sebastian. And we spent a day walking around there, and it's just great. We really liked the Old Town neighborhood. There's a lot of nice shops and restaurants and things to visit. You'll find some old cathedrals and squares there, and you really have to spend some time walking around there in the Old Town. It's really nice. So the city is right on the Atlantic, and you can take a walk when you go through the Old Town. You can take a walk over to the seawall, and then there's a nice walkway right there along the Atlantic, and really. There were some fairly dramatic waves when we were there, but I know that when there's storms, there gets to be some really nice waves up in that area. Another thing you could do there is you can visit some beaches as well, especially if you're there in the summer. Now, we were there in the fall, so we didn't hang out on the beach at all, but man, the sand there just looks amazing. It's really some great beaches there in the area. And one thing that we did since we have kids is we went to a little park area right on La Concha Bay. So if you are traveling with kids, they have a nice merry-go-round and some things to climb on, which is a nice way to break up the day. Another thing about San Sebastian is the best thing is the food scene, actually. If you walk around, there's just so many of these nice bars and restaurants to go to. They actually have the most Michelin-starred restaurants per capita in the world. So if you're a foodie, that's a really great place to visit. The area is famous for pinchos, which is a type of tapa, and they have a lot to choose from, a lot of them with seafood, but there's also ones with meat and cheese and things like that as well. But yeah, the pincho scene is really nice. That was fun to experience that. We went to a couple of different restaurants when we were there, and it was a great time. Say that, San Sebastian, it's big enough where you could spend several days there. And in fact, we felt like we shortchanged the city. We probably should have spent more time there than we did. Yeah, and actually, if you're visiting this area, I would certainly consider San Sebastian as a place to base your trip off of. You could stay there and then travel around to the region rather than stay in Hondarribia like we did. It is more expensive, but there's more to do, and the restaurants are better. We kind of like the small town in Hondarribia, and so we ended up staying there. But yeah, either place would be good. We wanted to be sure to explore France and the Pyrenees Mountains on our trip. So we drove through the mountains and stopped at a couple of little villages. One of them was called Sare, and then we kept on driving, and then we went to Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, which are some really nice villages up in the French part of the Basque region. In Sare, there's an antique train that you can take up to the top of Mount La Rune. We were going to do that, but we got to looking at it, and the time that it took to get up to the top, and then there's time that you sit there, and by the time you get back down, we decided not to take the train, and we tried to drive to the top of the mountain, but the road was closed, so we actually didn't get to the top, but we did get to stop and take some pictures and video of the area anyway. We did get to see some nice views. Sare is pretty small. It's a nice place, but you can just stop off for coffee, walk around a little bit, take some pictures, and that's about it. There aren't really a lot of shops there or anything like that. It's a very small town. I think it has around 2,000 people, but it's a nice place to stop off on and take a break. And you can, if you like photography, you can take some nice pictures there. Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, it's larger. There's quite a lot to see there. I wouldn't spend more than a day there, but it is nice. It's very picturesque. And if you like photography, there's a lot of nice places to stop there and take some pictures or video. The river runs right through the town, and it's very nice. We had a really good lunch there, and there's some nice shops and things to to do there to kill some time. But yeah, we really enjoyed it. Probably the best thing about going to these villages is just driving through the Pyrenees. It really does not disappoint. I mean, the views are amazing, and you've got in the countryside is just it's just dotted with all these nice Basque type houses, and there's nice villages you pass through, and it's really a nice drive. We on another day we went to Saint Jean de Luz, and this is my favorite city of the trip. I just really loved the architecture, and it had a great beach right there, right on the edge of the old town, and many nice restaurants. It's really an under the radar destination. I'd never heard of it before, and we almost didn't go there. We were doing some research at the room and about where we might want to travel, and we started looking at this place, and we thought, maybe I don't know, maybe we should go someplace else. But we ended up going there, and yeah, we sure were glad that we did. We really had a nice time there. It feels like a Basque city, with all of the colorful shutters on the windows and the bright colored trim and things like that. But it's also very much a French city, which is really nice. It's a very unique experience. They got a nice big square there. Yeah, it's right on the Atlantic, and then there's a little bay on the backside of the town, which is nice, with a lot of fishing boats and things like that. And yeah, we really enjoyed our time there. And if you do visit, just be sure to go up to that beach area. And the beach is really nice, and I think we'd like to go back there sometime in the summer, and just hang out on the beach and go to some of the other beach towns around there as well. They're really a nice area. One interesting thing is there's a church there called St. John the Baptist, and that's really fun to see. King Louis XIV was actually married there back in 1660. That was actually right when the church was constructed. So it was a really neat church to visit, and it has a very unique architecture. So yeah, we had a really nice lunch there. We stopped at a little Basque restaurant, and there's many choices there in Saint Jean de Luz. There's a lot of nice restaurants there, a lot of nice shops, a lot of nice some food shops too that you can go to, kind of gourmet shops. You can take a look around and buy some things. They were selling ham and some local jellies and things like that. But yeah, the restaurant scene is great. Plenty to choose from. And, especially if you like seafood, as the city does have an active commercial fishing industry. So it's really a neat place to visit. We really enjoyed Saint Jean de Luz. So that pretty much wraps up our trip there to the Basque region there. I hope you enjoyed the overview of our trip. It's just it was interesting to see the border area there between France and Spain. You got to experience two countries, and the Basque culture was really nice. Yeah, and if you ever want to visit up there, I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's really nice. And to be honest, Hondarribia, San Sebastián, or Saint Jean de Luz, any one of those cities would be a nice place to base your trip from, because you could explore the surrounding area very easily, and each one of the cities are really nice, actually. We stayed in Hondarribia, but yeah, either Saint Jean de Luz or San Sebastián would be nice too. And if I have some related videos on my channel of Saint Jean de Luz and San Sebastián, so take a look and check those out if you're interested in seeing a little bit more. Show the restaurants that we ate at and things like that. And feel free to subscribe if you want to see more content. I post weekly typically. And yeah, push the like button. I would really appreciate it. And thank you for watching.